Legendary Auctions is pleased to be able to feature in our live auction event for 2009 the Bob Gibson collection. Before I get into some of the highlights of that collection and what we're going to be able to offer, I want to talk a little bit about Bob. First of all, personally, it's been gratifying to me to be able to meet Bob and be able to spend some time with him as we've been able to go through these treasured possessions. It's amazing when you think of a person who had such an unbelievable career that you get the opportunity not only to sell these things. A lot of times when memorabilia comes to the market, it's second-hand, third-hand. It's great to be able to offer a collection directly from the person who obtained these items throughout his career. So I'm going to pause for a second before I get into the items and just talk a little bit about Bob's career. This is like a refresher course of Bob Gibson's career. Let me just go through some of the highlights. And believe me, I could spend a significant amount of time talking about it, but I'm just going to go through some of the highlights of his career just to place him and his significance in his career of what he actually accomplished. First of all, Bob Gibson appeared in 8 different All-Star games over his career. He obtained 9 Gold Gloves, so not only was he a great pitcher, but he was a great defensive player as well. Some of the awards that he won throughout his career. He won the Cy Young Award in 1968 and 1970. He won the World Series MVP in 1964 and 1967. He also won the MVP award in 1968. 1968 is a season to be remembered. Now Bob, of course, if you talk to him, is going to focus a lot more on 64 and 67 because those are the years that he won world championships. But after winning 3 games in the 67 World Series and getting the MVP, he went into the 68 season ready to repeat. And the type of season that he put together is arguably the most significant season ever put together by a pitcher, as evidenced by the fact that not only did he win the Cy Young Award, he did something that was very unusual for a pitcher and happened very few times. In addition to winning the Cy Young Award, he also won the MVP award in 1968. In 1968, he amassed 22 wins against only 9 defeats, and came out with a minuscule ERA of 1.12. So you could say, you know, if you're a pitcher for one of the Yankees teams, yeah, he had a lot of wins, but he gave up a lot of runs. His team supported him with all kinds of run support. Bob didn't need that in 1968. 1.12 ERA. Just think about what that means, that in a typical 9-inning game, and he pitched a lot of complete games that year, he gave up an average of just over a run. In addition, at the end of his career, other than getting elected to the Hall of Fame in 1981, which was pretty obvious after the career he had, in addition to that, he was honored in 1999 as being selected as a member of the All-Century team. What they did is in 1999, they picked the top 100 players of the last century, and Bob was obviously selected as one of those top 100 players. In addition to that, they decided to whittle that list down to 2 position players for each position, 6 outfielders, and I believe it was 6 pitchers. And he was also honored to be one of the top 30 players of all time. So with that as a backdrop, I think you understand the significance of Bob Gibson's career. Now we get into some of the items that we're featuring. We're actually selling basically all of Bob's memorabilia that he amassed over that period of time. He kept some things that were personal to himself and to his wife and to his family, and other than that, everything else will be sold either in this live auction event that we're holding this summer or in our summer event later on in August. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of the items, and then as you go through the catalog and as the next catalog comes out, you'll be able to see the other awards. But here's some of the more significant items. The number 1 item we're selling his 1968 MVP award. Very few MVP awards have been offered to the collecting public, and rarely, not only rarely are they offered, but rarely are they offered for such a significant player. So we're able to offer Bob's 1968 MVP award. And of special note, he took great care in preserving these items. It's in pristine condition. I'm not sure the last time it was touched when I pulled it out of the display case, but we're able to offer his 1968 MVP award. And a nice complementary piece to that, obviously it's a separate lot in the auction, is his 1968 Cy Young Award. We're selling the two most significant things that represent that very significant season. In addition to that, we're selling his 1964 World Championship ring. That is a World Championship ring. I mean, both of his World Championship rings are very significant to him, but that was his first World Championship ring in 1964. He was the MVP of that series, and it really established him as the big game pitcher that he became. In addition to that, in this auction, we're also selling his Hall of Fame induction ring. This is the actual ring that was given to Bob when he was in Cooperstown in 1981 and was enshrined into the Hall of Fame. And Bob's a guy who's actually spent a lot of time at the Hall of Fame. Throughout the years, he's gone to many of the induction ceremonies. So he's spent a lot of time in Cooperstown, but we're going to have the opportunity to offer that Hall of Fame induction ring of Bob's. In addition to that, we're going to be selling one of his gold gloves. We're going to be selling his first victory ball, which is significant. We're going to be selling some of his early contracts as well as some of his significant contracts in the live auction, including his contract from the 1968 season, his best season as an individual player ever. In addition to those significant pieces I mentioned, we're also going to sell a host of other things from his career, including his first victory ball, including significant contracts, including other awards that he amassed throughout his career. So this is a phenomenal opportunity for people to be able to acquire some significant artifacts from one of the best pitchers, best modern day pitchers to ever play the game.